Thank you for joining me. The introit for Sunday, March 27th is from Psalm 51. Have mercy on me, O God, according to your steadfast love, according to your abundant mercy. Blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin. For I know my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Against you, you only have I sinned and done what is evil in your sight, so that you may be justified in your words and blameless in your judgment. Behold, I was brought forth in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, you delight in truth in the inward being, and you teach me wisdom in the secret heart. Now, sometimes the things that we have done have this way of embedding themselves in our memories. Our sins have this way of lingering in the back of our minds. And there are plenty of things we might do to distract ourselves because we don't like feeling guilty. We might have even forgotten about something we have done only for our memory of it to return at a very strange time. No matter what we might do to try to forget and leave the past in the past, there will be a point where we cannot hide from our sin. The psalmist tells us that his sin is something that he has been spending a lot of time dwelling on. He says, I know my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me. Our sins and past actions have this way of confronting us at the most interesting times. A man I knew was given a terminal cancer diagnosis. This man was faithful and a committed member of his church and community. And a few weeks after the bad news, I went and saw him, and he told me of a time in his past that he could not get away from. It was a situation that was causing him a lot of guilt and was causing him to doubt his faith, a situation he had thought he had made peace with. But with the reality of death staring down at him, all that guilt came flooding back. There will be times in all of our lives where we will be confronted by our sins. It's going to happen. However, in those times, we also be like the psalmist and call out to God for his mercy, and he will grant us his mercy. All that we have done, all the sins that we have committed, they have been wiped clean. It's not our action that does this. It's God who cleans us from our sins. And even though our sin is great, the forgiveness and grace of our God is even greater. When guilt overtakes us and we remember our sins, be also like the psalmist and remember the grace and forgiveness of our God. Thank you for joining me.